famous for taking on the central bank there and winning. What are your thoughts on the India market, and then just globally, what are other hotspots that are on your radar?
Sure. India is a really interesting market because it was like India bans Bitcoin, and then now the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Bitcoin. The banks have to work with crypto exchanges, and the crypto exchanges got bank accounts. And then there was another potential ban proposed. So there was always this back and forth. India is a very large country. We do see now a very large uptick in terms of user adoption in India, following the sort of Supreme Court ruling, I guess, in April. So that's really, really positive. But what we see is the number of users is growing quickly. The purchase amount per user is smaller than some of the developed countries, which is generally true for when we compare countries with higher earnings versus lower earnings. So India is definitely a very interesting market. There's a few other markets in Asia that are large population, like Indonesia is really interesting. We recently, together with our partner Toko Crypto, launched Toko Crypto launched the exchange. They also issued a stable coin there. So that's a really interesting market. Very large population, smaller purchase amounts per user, but large number of users. Africa, there's some really interesting countries. Nigeria is really, really picking up in terms of trading volume, together with most of the other African countries. So especially some of the developed ones. And Europe and Middle East are quite interesting. So we just announced we are expanding into the Middle East more seriously. So we have a number of efforts there. That's also an interesting area. Middle East just issued a couple licenses, so now there's a more regulatory clarity. So that's good for our industry in general. Turkey has always been a very active market, and the other we launched Binance UK. So all of Europe is actually quite interesting as well, because money flows very fluidly within the European region. And we recently added SEPA support directly. So now there's fast payments for cash in and out. That's really good as well. So we're also working with a number of large players as potential partners there. So all of those things are really, really interesting. Binance US is also interesting. They're growing very quickly as well. So their trading volumes are growing very healthily. They can only service a limited number of states so far, but they're in the application process for other states. So hopefully they can add more and more states. So to me, all of the world is really interesting. So this is why I never felt...
I think you named all the continents there.
Yeah, so this is why I never felt as like I'm Chinese, or I'm just focused on the Chinese market or something like that. So I think blockchain is the first time that allows entrepreneurs to focus on the world at the same time. So it's really interesting.
Yeah. When we had you at Consensus, I think 2 months